Faith on Film, a program designed to keep you informed of everything that's happening in the faith-based film world. Anita Cordell, winner of the Best Actress Award for her role in House Mother, has also received 2 other nominations for Best Actress. Born in Tulsa, Oklahoma to a preacher and raised in multiple Midwest locations, Anita is one-of-a-kind lady and a true example of a Midwest charm. In 2006, she began pursuing film and commercial work and has gained the recognition of many indie filmmakers and producers across the Midwest. She's been in over 100 commercials and many indie projects. She's not only a diverse actress playing both comedy and drama, but she shines optimism and has been asked to hold various speaking engagements to motivate others to pursue their goals and dreams. Anita, welcome to Faith on Film. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. How are you? I'm so
I'm
excited
doing
to
good.
be here.
You are such a charming person. You know that?
Aw, thank you. Thank you.
You bet. Now, I remember seeing you way before I actually ever met you on a program that this pastor used to do. What was it called? It was a really
The
funny
Stephen
program.
Kathy show?
That's
The
it.
Stephen
That was
Kathy
it. The Stephen Kathy show. And it was pretty hilarious. But listen, let's find out from you how you even got started in this.
Well, when people ask me what my turning point was or what my moment of, this is what I want to do, I have to just simply answer them that I do not have that moment. Like you said, my father is a pastor, and so I grew up actually with him putting the microphone in my face and saying, I need for you to pray. I need for you to sing a song. I need for you to play the piano. I need for you to do all this. And so I grew up, but I was an introvert. I did not always feel comfortable in the public eye. And yet it was my life, my family. That's who we were as far as the life of ministry. And when I became an adult, I shied away from all of that and just really didn't was not in the public eye at all. And I had a little girl. She was about 5 years old, and we went to a big, huge church, a mega church, and they put on a Christmas performance every year, and it's called Tribulation Christmas, and my daughter wanted to be one of the little angels in that play, and so I signed her up for it. I was a participant of that play. And lo and behold, the director came to me and asked me, hey, we have all these 30 little angels. Can you dress up in an angel costume and lead them down the sanctuary in this scene? And I thought, well, okay, I'll do that. That's fine. And lo and behold, 10 years later, I had been a part of that production for 10 years. And at my 10th year, I ended up being the lead role in this play. And I pause all that to say that there's a verse in the Bible that says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. And growing up, and it's really this verse that a lot of people use that says, train up a child and read them Bible stories and read them Bible verses and help them learn Bible verses so that when they are old, it will be embedded into their heart. However, I believe that verse actually has a deeper meaning from just that. And I believe that verse means to train up a child in their bent that they should go. And when they're old, they will not depart from their bent. And I believe that we as adult leaders in the church, we as people who are raising up the next generation, we're to call forth those giftings and call forth those things that we see in them. And then I believe that is truly what my father was doing, and he did not even know it. I truly am grateful for living in that realm and being a pastor's kid, and now come to fruition. I'm back in the public eye, and I had all of that deeply embedded into me, and that's kind of my story.
Wow. Two different things here. One of them is you said that you were an introvert. And that is so true, actually, and I find that to be true of a lot of people in the public eye, is technically they're really very introverted when it comes to the private, part of their lives. Like me, to be honest with you, I'm a lot of an introvert. But when it comes time to do what we are called to do, suddenly something kicks in and we're able to do that. And once we're done, we kind of go back into ourselves. At least I find that about myself. Is that kind of how you feel about you?
Yes, I actually get my energy from being alone and being separate from it. When I'm in the public eye, I get a rush being there in that moment, and I'm able to draw on people in the moment, and I don't know, how what I'm saying, but then I am able to regroup and recenter and build myself back up again when I'm able to be alone.
Exactly.
And honestly, when I walk into a big party, and if there's a whole lot of people in the room, or some kind of event that I'm going to, I get a little nervous. I do. I'm not. Yeah. I look for the people that I'm comfortable with, and I look for the people that I know, and I gravitate to them. I am not one that you would call the life of the party, but man, if you put me on stage and you give me a message, then I will blow it up.
That's exactly how it is. I was a worship leader of a big mega church for many years, and I'd be up there, but when it was over, I would want to find just the place where I could literally hide. But that's just our personal personalities. But here we are, and I can find the other thing that you talked about was how a lot of this is chosen for us in essence from when we are kids, and it's important for our parents to really help us through that, because as we look back, I see that I was technically doing this from when I was a little kid. Now, I was doing it maybe just in front of a mirror or, not necessarily in front of a camera, but it was like we were preparing. God was preparing us for what his calling was for our lives.
Yeah. I would have never, ever thought that as a young girl, being really, really shy, that I would be doing the things that I'm doing now. I mean, I was kind of that poster child. In fact, you'll find this quite funny. I went to my 20-year reunion with my class reunion, and they were at the very end. They were listing off, giving away prizes. They were saying, "Here's a prize for the person who's stayed married, and here's the prize for the person with the most children, and here's a little gift for the person who drove the farthest," or whatever. And at the very end, they stood up and they said, "Okay, well, we could not help but add one more prize to our list. Okay. This prize is actually going to the person who has the most changed since high school, and it goes to Anita Cordell."
Oh, that is neat.
Yeah, so I took that as a compliment, actually. Absolutely. Some people might get offended, but I took that as a compliment. So.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, on that note, we're going to take a little break. And when we come back, I want to talk about a couple of projects that you're working on and see what else comes to your mind as we go through this program today, all right?
Okay.
All right, folks, don't go away. We'll be right back.
Encourage TV. Family-friendly and faith-friendly content absolutely free. Subscribe today and watch hundreds of hours of content on our streaming channels. Visit encouragetv.com today.
Seriously, Dad, I want to go.
I told you it's not that big. Great-granddaddy couldn't even fit right.
That thing's not to scale. It's a cartoon. The real one's bigger than a football field.
For real?
Come on, you don't even have to pay for me. Kids are free.
All right. Can't be that big.
Whoa! Told you, Dad. You just gotta think bigger.
Welcome back to Faith on Film. We're here with Anita Cordell today, but before we go on to talk with her some more, I want you to check out this clip.
I had a dream when I was a little girl. I wanted to be a ballerina, like my mom.
Do you know that 80% of sex offenders reoffend?
They were children, boys and little girls. None of them over 15 years old. Brian, you've got to be careful with this investigation. The people who did this are extremely dangerous. They pose a threat to every single relationship that you have.
I'll find who's behind this.
I was sold.
Here's something that may interest you. One of the children had a symbol tattooed on his wrist.
We're gonna hunt down these scumbags.
I have sacrificed my life for this job.
In the case of Victor Musri, a man suspected of murdering 6 children in Florida and running an illegal prostitution and human trafficking
Our
ring.
team is going to go ahead and park on the east and west of the building. Now on the back side is where we know they have the children.
I need to file a missing person report.
My name is Dr. Gill, and I'm the clinical psychologist assigned to your case.
Larry Olson, a partner of Victor Musri, is one of 3 men who allegedly was caught running a sex trafficking ring.
After a long time in slavery, I escaped.
Tyler, another Amber Alert came in.
Just heard on the news that Russian immigrant Victor Musri was arrested.
Just so that what happened to Lisa doesn't happen to anybody else. Do you understand?
The prosecution now calls Adriana Miller to the stand.
It happens faster than I can imagine.
Why, the wrong is but the wrong in the world.
Did you traffic and sexually abuse children?
They would kill me and my mother. I was deceived by my mom's boyfriend.
Did you know what was happening?
El amor que hoy te hace libre. El amor que cubre multitud de errores. Tu valor no se compara con nada de esta tierra.
This is where my journey starts.
Sources say that you are a witness on the Victor Musri trial.
I don't care how long I have to wait for you.
Do you want to know my bright future, Dr. Gill?
Well, Anita, that looks like a very, I don't want to say dark, but a very serious and intense movie there. What part do you play in this?
I played Dr. Gill in this, and Dr. Gill basically came in, and she is the one that has set. She was assigned to the case of traffickers, and so she was assigned to the case of the lead role in this film. So I'm super honored to be a part of this. And yes, it is a little dark, and some of the story comes out that, you know, it's a subject matter that we don't always want to talk about.
Right.
I think that we sit in our little bubble and, you know, are not real abreast to the darkness and the evil that is around us when it pertains to this subject matter. And so any kind of awareness and any kind of education or exposure to this subject matter is really great. And so I was just honored to be a part of it. It's coming out in the fall in theaters in 2020.
Okay. Now, this subject is very, I don't know, you're very passionate about this subject, aren't you? Because, as a matter of fact, the movie that you won Best Actress for was another of this same subject matter, right?
Right. Yes. That was House Mother, where I played the role of the lady who was actually a house mother preparing young girls for clients.
Why do you feel you are so passionate about this particular subject?
I know that the heart of God is to make sure that children are safe and children are not abused. And really, my heart actually has grown over the last year. In fact, when we were preparing the script and when we were writing the script for House Mother, it actually started with a story of fostering. And at the time, I was a foster parent and was hearing a lot of stories that were coming through in my fostering community of abuse to children and neglect and just how families are so broken. And so the story was originally going to be about some of the things that I had been hearing and experiencing in the foster world. And it just started growing and growing and growing. And I started really, my eyes were not open at all to this subject matter. I knew nothing about trafficking at all when we wrote that script. And as time progressed, we started getting a little more involved in it and learning more and becoming more aware from the internet stories. And I was completely floored. I was completely shocked. I would lay at night in bed crying because of so much pain. And the Lord just started opening up my heart and saying that, you know, I was gonna delve into it more in the film world. And so one morning I went to church, and it was about a month before we were shooting House Mother, and the worship team was singing Chris Tomlin's song, I Will Rise. And I was worshiping, and all of a sudden my spirit ears could only hear the words, I will rise. So it was like, all I could hear was, I will rise, I will rise, I will rise. And I stopped and I said, God, what is going on? I can't hear. And even the mouths of the people around me were moving different words. And he dropped into my spirit in that moment and said, name your big project. I will rise, and I will tell you why later. So a month later, which was about 2 days before the cameras rolled on House Mother, he told me why. And he said, there are going to be 3 different groups of people that are going to be affected by your movies. One, all of the people who are hurting, or who are victimized, or who have been hurt or entrenched in the industry of trafficking or prostitution, they are going to somehow see your films, and they will feel in their heart a prick that gives them hope, and that they will see and they will feel inside of them, and they will say, I will rise up out of this industry or out of my victimization. The second group of people that he said are pimps and johns and people who are dealing with drug addictions, or who are contributing to the industry in a negative fashion. He said, there will be people who will see your films that would not otherwise. And if you obey, I will do the convicting. So you obey, you create these films, let me do the convicting, and I will put it into their hearts a prick, and they will say, I will rise up out of this industry. And the third group of people he said that my films will affect are the churches and the community members and people who are out there helping you. They will hear what you are doing, and they will begin to support you and help you. And they too will say, I will rise and do my part. So that's where I founded the I Will Rise project. It's recently became a 501c3. You can now help it by going to any of your Amazon project, anything. You can go to smile.amazon.com and choose I Will Rise from Blue Springs, and that's me. You can buy shirts. So I have one on me right now. It's I Will Rise shirt.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug, yeah. You can buy a t-shirt. You can donate to my next projects. And keep in mind, not everything that I do is entrenched in dark subject matters like this. I also do comedy and voiceover for animation and all that. So this is just my heart and my passion, and where I am moving forward in that, to expose the dark forces of our enemy.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, I think we're going to take a little pause right now and take another break, and we'll come back. I want to have you for another segment, and maybe continue to talk a little bit about what's in store for you, and what else we can look forward to from you. Okay? So folks, don't go away. We're going to be right back.
Dad? This is a lot of work. It might take us the entire weekend.
You think this is rough? Try building one of the most massive wooden ships in history without modern tools.
Go ahead. Think bigger.
Just one life, a perfect time. And your heart starts beating hard. I'm gonna keep on dreaming. I wanna feel that love.
Meet Will. Will wants to make a movie based in Bible times. No, maybe a Western. Well, maybe an apocalyptic movie. A biblical era apocalyptic Western? That would be so original. But Will needs some sweet sets to bring it to life, and Will is 25,352 miles away from any of those sweet, sweet sets. Or so he thinks. Fortunately for Will, there is a solution. Introducing Capernaum Studios, your ticket to realistic locations and everything else you need to bring your period-accurate story to life. Book a tour today, like Will, who is, yet to leave.
Welcome back. We're here with Anita Cordell. Anita, so what else is in store for you?
Well, I am going to be, I'm so excited to be teaching a class at Content 20 this fall. I'm going to be teaching about the acting side of our world and the business and how to bring the business side of it. So many times we get taught on how to act in those moments of scene work, but a lot of times people forget that it is a business. So how do we network? Right. How do we do? What kind of tools do we need? So I'm excited about that. And then I'm also going to be filming several projects that are not yet announced yet, but a lot of exciting things going on this year.
Yeah. You know, now, of course, I've seen you mostly in faith-based content, but I've also seen you in some national commercials, and I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, I've turned on the TV, and there you are.
Yeah, I have been in over 100 commercials. Most of them are Midwest here, but some of them are regional, and then there have been a few that have been national. Now,
what do you like doing better, comedy or drama? Because the drama that I've seen you doing is, of course, like I said, very deep and almost dark drama. But the comedy thing was also kind of fun. I brought those shows on to TBN years ago, and they were just hilarious. Which do you like doing better?
Oh, man. I think it's depending on that moment in time or what I'm doing in life. I'm definitely drawn to drama in the sense that the heart-wrenching stories, but the comedy is also, it tends to mesh with that introvert in me where it allows me to escape a little bit more.
Okay.
And so I love it. I'm not 100% gifted in the improv, so I'm going to be taking some improv classes here soon. But they were so hilarious. I mean, with the big wigs and the fabulous makeup that they put on us once in a while. It was, so the Steve and Kathy show was probably one of my biggest things that kind of helped launch my career, really.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we've got just a few seconds left. Why don't you let us know what's the best way to reach you, to get a hold of you? Again, I know you gave a website earlier in the previous segment, but just reiterate, how's the best way to get a hold of you?
Well, you can definitely reach out to me on Facebook. I have a fan page. It's Anita Cordell, the actress-producer page. You can send me an email there. I also have a personal email. It's just my name, anitacordell@gmail.com. And you can go to my website and send me messages off of there as well. So really, I'm all over the social media. I'm also on Instagram, and so my website.
You sure you don't want to give out your cell number or anything?
Well, I almost did, but then I thought, no, I'm not going to do that.
Not a good idea. Well, thank you, Anita. It was great having you. I know I had you on a previous show, but it was just for one quick segment. Remember when we were, in fact, in Content 19, and you had won like a boatload of awards, actually. Six awards. Yeah, I remember we needed to get help to come and help you load them all up in the car. But anyway, thank you again, and I look forward to seeing all the great things that you're doing, all right?
It's always a pleasure.
Fantastic. Folks, don't go away. We'll be right back.
Seriously, how big was it? I'm telling you, it's humongous. So it was bigger than a castle? Totally. And when you're there, there's so many cool things to do that you forget about time. No way. That only happens in one place. ahead. Think bigger.
Encourage TV. Family-friendly and faith-friendly content absolutely free. Subscribe today and watch hundreds of hours of content on our streaming channels. Visit encouragetv.com today.
Wow, I can't believe we have totally run out of time today. I barely have enough time to remind you that you want to check out Parables TV, a place where you can watch some great movies, documentaries, reality shows, all kinds of great content for you and your family. A lot of the movies that we talk about here are there on Parables. Simply go to parables.tv, that's parables.tv, and sign up. It's free, there is no subscription fee. Also want to remind you to write me. I want to hear from you. Simply write me at faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. That's faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. And of course, you can always follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at faithonfilmtv. Well, remember, if you want to keep your soul healthy, you gotta feed it some good, healthy entertainment. Until next week, take care.